Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, and I wanted to do a quick little video on my seedling grow room. It's in the basement, so it's in the same room as my HVAC system, hot water heater. It's an unfinished part. I built this little platform, this table, out of repurposed train table wood and the acrylic that I've been using in the beds. And I want to do two things in this video. One is talk about my experience so far this year down here, and two, I wanted to show you what's going on down here. So first thing is last year I started seeds for the very first time down here, and I had great success. I started early. My plants were, it was like a jungle down here by this time. Like they were just, my plants are way too mature, way too early. So I was like, that was, I mean, it was great that I had such great success, but I was like, this year I'm going to start later because I want to be able to figure it out timing wise, where when it's ready to plant, my plants are the size I want them to be. So I started a little bit later and had catastrophic failures. So the initial flats, 1020 trays, I don't know if a flat is a 1020 tray, but that's what I call them. So just go with it. I have these 72 cell trays, but it wasn't like a regular size 72 cell, if this makes any sense. It was like half the size deep. And I used them because I had them, and I was ordering some other stuff, but I was impatient, as that goes. And so that's, I think, possibility number one, that the trays were too shallow and the soil, they just got either wet way too fast or they dried out way too fast. And I think it was probably the latter. So since then I have bought new trays, mainly from Bootstrap Farmer, and they're just good, well-made trays and cells that will last a very long time, and I don't have to worry about. I can check that one off my list. So the other variable on why I failed, I think, was lighting. So last year I have these lights. So I had one up top, the center one, and then these two like shop lights. They're from Spider Farmer. All of them are from Spider Farmer. And everything worked out well. So I was like, I could expand because the one light isn't enough to cover that whole top area. So I got some more lights, and I think I burned my initial set of plants because I lowered my lights after they germinated, and I had these lights probably about 6 to 10 inches above them, because that's what I thought you were supposed to do, and I ended up burning. I think this is, again, possibility number two of why I failed, was because I definitely burned some of the leaves, and I didn't think you could do that. I don't even know if I have any examples. I'm sure I will when we go through, of leaves that are still burned. So I raised the lights. They're about 30 inches now above the trays. I also picked up these humidity domes. So those are nice I found that they keep the soil moist for a longer period of time, especially when you have them on the heat mat. So I've been playing around with that. But Oh, so the third thing is the third variable, I guess, is I started making my own soil this year. For the seed starting mix, it was simply 2 parts sphagnum peat moss and 1 part perlite, because the seed has all the nutrients it needs to grow at least like the first set of leaves, I think, and then before it needs any nutrition outside of the seed. Uh, so I knew that, and so the seed starting mix didn't have any nutrition in it, but I maybe it needed nutrition before I thought it did, and it wasn't there to be had because it was just a seed starting mix. So now I'm in the camp of, you know what, it doesn't really hurt to add some nutrition to the seed starting mix. It doesn't need to be a lot, but something. So if it does need it, I can have it. So that's another possibility. So during the past couple of months, what I've been doing is I'll plant a tray, and then a week later or 2 weeks later I'll plant another tray, and then it's like you haven't really seen. I was getting concerned that I'd have this huge garden and no plants to put out. So what I'm about to show you is a result of that. And you'll see plants at different levels of growth, and I guess that's good. That's what you want to do, right? With succession planning, I guess. But this was not on purpose. So here we go. All right. Let's start. I guess we'll just start at the top left and work our way over. So this is all peppers. These trays, these are the 2.5 inch pots from Bootstrap Farmer. And this tray holds about 32. These are all peppers. The other day I fed the plants with some fish fertilizer, so and nice and green. So they're looking pretty good. And then next door here we have a combination of eggplant. The eggplant is doing super well, and we don't really like too much eggplant. So we're gonna have to learn to love it this year. Tomatoes. And some of the really outstanding performers got up potted again. Now these are kind of crazy. These I think they call them 5-inch pots, I think. They're big. So compared to 2.5-inch pot, 5-inch pot. So let's see, 2 eggplants and 3 tomatoes made the initial leap to those. Over here, this is a tray that I'm going to take care of after this video. It is really a mix of, as trays were failing, I would pull out some of the survivors and give them a chance. So as you can see, this is the onion graveyard. So that whole flat of onions. This is what I got. So clearly I have a lot to learn about growing onions. But you can see there's some flowers, some tomatoes, and some basil. So a lot of this stuff is getting up potted shortly. Okay. Next to that, we have one of the tests I did. Let's get this one. All right, is I wanted to try starting out peppers and tomatoes in the 2.5 inchers. Now, since I'm making my own mixes, what I did was I I filled like 3/4 away with potting soil mix, and then the top quarter with seed starting mix. That way the seed, because the whole deal is the seed starting mix is very loose for the seed to sprout and germinate and grow roots. And then the potting soil is a little more denser, but it has the nutrients. So by the time the roots got to the potting soil, they would be strong enough to keep going. And then when it needed nutrients, it was there, and it could stay in this container until we were ready to move it into here. So trying that out, you can see there's 2 in here. I will probably, I don't know, let them grow, see which one does better, and then either pluck one or try to transplant one. That's what this tray is all about, pretty much. There's also some like milkweed I potted earlier. Just in case you're wondering, this is kind of like, you can't see that. Hold on. Temperature 72 degrees down here. It goes from 72 to 68, and the humidity is in the high of 40, low of 32. So see some tomatoes that I potted earlier. You can see like some of them, the leaves are curling. I try not to get too crazy, but I don't know, some are doing better than others. See like a 42 there, and it's very yellow. Here's an example of, you can see where when this plant was very young, talking about the burning. If you can see the tips, see they burned. Alright, over here we have a humidity dome, and this is of course stuff that hasn't really germinated yet. Some of the things are starting to come up though, so I'm learning when to pull the tray out of here and when to leave it in. I'm learning a lot this year. And down here, these are some herbs that I just potted, and these, I have these, they're like the size of 4 sixers. Excuse me. Little baby basil. These were just in under the humidity dome. I just pulled them out. Some more onions. Try them again. And then this is, remember the 2.5-inch pots that I started seeds in on the top shelf. This was the tray that I started them in. Half of it was peppers, half tomatoes. This stuff I'm still waiting to germinate. The tomatoes I'm a little concerned with that they're not going to. Peppers always take longer, and you can see some of them are starting to come up. So that's about it. Let's see. I bought this 48-inch fan here that works off a timer and oscillates, so that blows on the plants, makes them a little stronger. So that's good. All right, well, that's it. I need to get some work done. So see you guys later.